Title: I returned home early from the hospital and found my wife with her lover in our bed. I left silently, froze the accounts, and changed the locks. But then, an unexpected twist changed everything. Chapter 1, Release. The nurse handed me my discharge papers with a warm grin. "You're free to go, Mr. Carter. The doctor cleared you early. Your recovery's moving faster than expected." I managed a weak smile, though my chest still throbbed faintly from the surgery. 3 days in the hospital, tethered to monitors, and not one visit from my wife, Emily. She claimed hospitals made her too anxious. Sure. The taxi ride home was quiet. My thoughts drifted from the sterile hospital sent to the comfort of my own bed, to the meal Emily might have prepared, to the stillness of our home. As the cab pulled into our driveway, something felt wrong. Emily's car was parked haphazardly, blocking half the drive as if she'd rushed in. That wasn't like her. I paid the driver, grabbed my duffel bag, and stepped quietly into the house. The place was dark, save for a faint glow spilling from upstairs. I didn't call out. Something heavy settled in my stomach, urging me to stay silent. The stairs groaned under my weight as I climbed. The bedroom door was ajar. I nudged it open. That's when I saw them. Emily tangled in our sheets with a man I didn't know. Our wedding picture sat on the nightstand, slightly askew as if witnessing the betrayal. I stood frozen for 10 seconds. They didn't notice. No shouting, no confrontation, no collapse, just silence. I backed away, slipped out the front door, returned to the waiting cab, and said, "Airport." Chapter 2. Lockout. The cab driver shot me a glance in the rearview mirror. "Airport, you just got home, buddy." I didn't answer. My jaw was clenched, my mind a whirlwind of images and realizations. My wife, our bed. A stranger, her laughter once reserved for me. "Just drive," I muttered. But I didn't head to the airport. Halfway there, I redirected the driver to my attorney's office downtown. I'd known Mark Thompson for years, from the days I'd fixed his computers on weekends. He owed me a favor, and I was ready to collect. 30 minutes later, I stepped into his office, still in the sweatpants and hoodie from the hospital. "James," Mark looked up startled. "Weren't you supposed to stay another day?" "Plans changed," I said, nodding tiredly. I closed the door and in a low voice recounted what I'd seen. I didn't yell, didn't curse, didn't break. I laid it out like a map I'd finally deciphered. Mark leaned back, hands folded. "Divorce?" "Yes, but I want more." I pulled a file from my bag, one I'd prepared long before my hospital stay. "Here's everything, deeds, accounts." The power of attorney Emily never updated after we married. She doesn't know I moved the business to a trust last year. Mark scanned the documents, his brows rising. "You've already secured it all." "Everything," I said evenly. "House, business, savings, all transferred. She thinks she has access. She doesn't." Mark whistled softly. "She's clueless, isn't she?" I nodded. "By tonight, her cards will be frozen, accounts locked, and she'll need a new place to sleep." "You're launching a war," Mark said. "No," I replied, standing. "I'm already winning it." Chapter 3. Fortified. By dusk, the home that once held memories of warmth and joy had become an impenetrable stronghold. One Emily was no longer welcome in. The locksmith arrived quickly. Every lock on every door was replaced. The garage code was reset. The security system, programmed with a code Emily chose, was deactivated, and I had the alarm company mark her as unauthorized. I knew she'd try to return once her fling ended, once she realized what she'd lost. But I wasn't waiting around. Next, I visited the bank. The teller raised an eyebrow when I presented my ID and requested to close our joint account. Emily had been draining it for weeks, treating it like an endless well. She hadn't checked it today. She would soon. I transferred the remaining $23,000 to my private account, one she didn't know about. Then I signed papers to freeze all activity under her name, citing suspected fraud pending review. The bank manager didn't blink. "You're not the first," she said with a sigh. "But you're one of the few who acted in time." "Not acted," I corrected. "I let her think she was in control." Then came the car. Emily loved flaunting her luxury SUV, though it was in my name. That afternoon, I had it repossessed under a pre-existing buyback agreement. A phone call and a signature were all it took. Gone. By the time Emily and her lover strolled up the driveway, expecting to slip back into our bed, nothing was left for them. The key didn't work. The car was gone. Their cards were declined. I watched from across the street, leaning against Mark's SUV. He handed me a coffee. Emily pounded on the door, her voice rising. "James. James, open the door. This isn't a game." Her lover, the arrogant fool from earlier, tried to act tough. "Hey man, open up. We don't want trouble." I sipped my coffee slowly. Then I turned to Mark. "Let's go." As we drove off, I glanced back. Emily was crumpled on the porch, sobbing. Her lover paced, checking his phone, likely realizing he was out of options too. I felt no pity, not a shred. This was just the start. Chapter 4. The collapse begins the next morning. I sat on a hotel patio downtown, sipping coffee and watching early commuters rush by. Calm. Detached. My phone buzzed, 10 missed calls from Emily, 5 from an unknown number, probably him. 1 voicemail. I didn't listen. Instead, I logged into my attorney's client portal. Everything was in motion. Divorce papers filed, restraining order. Pending, backed by security footage from the house. Yes, I'd reviewed the video. She hadn't even bothered to close the curtains. The judge would see it too. Then came the civil suit. Emily had siphoned thousands from our joint account, including my military disability benefits protected under federal law. Mark said she'd either repay it or face criminal charges. I didn't care which. Her lover, Ethan, was tied to some of the charges too. She'd sent money to his PayPal for their little escapades. Amateur move. I also contacted the college. Emily worked part-time in the university's admin office, and Ethan was a tenured professor. A detailed email to the Title IX office with proof of their on-campus affair triggered an investigation. They'd used university resources for their trysts. By noon, I got a reply. Thank you for your report. This has been escalated to the Office of Academic Integrity and HR. It was like knocking over a line of dominoes. Emily texted again, please, can we talk? This is spiraling. We didn't mean to hurt you. I nearly laughed. They didn't mean to hurt me. They just didn't expect me to fight back. They thought I'd be a broken, quiet man. Instead, they got calculation, silence. The kind of retaliation only someone trained in military strategy could deliver. And the best was yet to come. Because they hadn't realized who now owned the house, or that I was about to visit her family with proof. Chapter 5. The family reckoning ***. Emily's parents always saw me as a temporary fixture, someone to tolerate until she found someone better. Her mother, Margaret, once said at a family dinner, "You're not the husband we hoped for, but at least you keep the bills paid." I never forgot those words. So when I pulled into their suburban driveway that Sunday, I wasn't sure what to expect. I wore a calm smile and carried a thin folder. Emily answered the door, her eyes widening. "What are you doing here?" "I have something for your parents," I said coolly. Before she could protest, Margaret appeared, her usual smug expression in place. "Well, look who's back," she said. "May I come in?" I asked. Emily hesitated, but Margaret waved me inside. "Let him talk." They led me to the living room where her father, Richard, sat flipping through a car magazine. "5 minutes," Emily said sharply. "Less," I replied. I opened the folder and pulled out 3 documents. First, a detailed log of the $38,000 Emily had taken from our joint account, with timestamps and a transaction showing money sent to Ethan for a trip. Second, an email from the university's ethics board confirming their investigation into Professor Ethan Cole and Emily for misconduct. Third, the new deed to the house. Emily hadn't noticed I'd sold the property weeks before everything unraveled. The buyer, my cousin Ryan, who leased it back to me for a month under a private agreement. Emily had been trespassing every moment she stayed after the locks changed. Margaret scoffed. "You're lying." I handed Richard the papers. "Check with the county records." He read in silence, stunned. Emily was shaking. "You'll hear from my attorney," I said. "I'm recovering the funds and if needed we'll go to court. Stealing VA-protected income is a felony." Emily's voice broke. "Why are you doing this?" "For 12 years, I said quietly. "I put you first. You betrayed me in our bed while I was in the hospital. You laughed at me." I turned to Margaret. "And you enabled it, so now I'm just responding in court." Then I handed them one last document. A notice canceling the mortgage assistance I'd been secretly paying on their house. "I was going to pay it off for Christmas," I said with a shrug. "Now enjoy the foreclosure." I walked out. Behind me, Emily shouted, Margaret cried, and Richard yelled at them both. It was chaos, but my response wasn't about noise. It was about precision, and I was just warming up. Chapter 6. The fallout in the weeks that followed, Emily's silence was deafening. No more taunting messages, no bitter emails, nothing. Her carefully crafted life was crumbling. The eviction notice came first. She'd ignored it, thinking I was bluffing about the house transfer. But when deputies arrived to serve it, she broke down in front of the neighbors. Ethan, her better man, was gone. His university position was suspended pending the ethics probe. When their messages, some sent on university servers, leaked, he lost his tenure, his pension, and issued a public apology through the college's board. His wife unaware until I anonymously sent her an envelope with Emily and Ethan's vacation photos captioned. He makes me feel whole again. Filed for divorce immediately. Emily turned to her family, but Richard wouldn't take her calls. Margaret, too embarrassed to face her social circle, stopped going to her book club. Their mortgage was 3 months behind, with creditors hounding them. Emily took a job at a discount store, the kind she used to mock online. She tried playing the victim on social media, posting about betrayal and hardship, but I had evidence. Using a throwaway account, I commented on one of her posts. "Didn't you ridicule your disabled husband while cheating in his bed? Will that be in your next post?" Dozens liked it. Some shared it. Her friends abandoned her overnight. That night she messaged me, "Why are you ruining me? Can't we talk?" My reply, "I talked for 12 years. You didn't listen. I blocked her." That was the last I heard from Emily. Epilogue: a year later, I'm in a better place, literally and figuratively. I bought a small cabin by a lake near the VA hospital. I fish in the mornings, volunteer with veterans, and started a nonprofit helping military families with housing and legal support. Partly funded by the $523.19 Emily pays monthly in court-ordered restitution. People ask if I miss her. I don't. I miss who I thought she was. Revenge. No, this was closure. Was this response justified? What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe this response was warranted, share it with someone who'd appreciate the resolve. Follow Stories of Justice for more gripping tales of betrayal and accountability. Because here, every deception meets its consequence and every betrayal casts a shadow. Stay vigilant, stay resilient, and stay tuned.